hey, here are some thoughts on overcoming discouragement. If you are discouraged, it is good to identify the source of your discouragement. And I would say that our culture collectively is in a pretty discouraged state. And I believe the reason for this is not the prevalence of social media, but the fact that we allow ourselves to spend way too much time scrolling and reading what's out there in that social media instead of spending time in our relationship with Christ. Sometimes it is helpful to talk to someone who can offer insight and guidance, and not just anybody, but someone who will offer you tangible steps to move you from your discouragement. And they need to offer biblically based steps. But be careful, you can talk your problems to death and get nowhere. Remember what James says in James 1:22, do not merely listen to God's word, and that'll deceive you. Do what it says. So, what can you do? Well, number one, always do what's right. Few things increase discouragement like regret or a guilty conscience. And we all know that it's tough to apologize, to admit our faults, to forgive, to restrain our temper, to own up to blame, or even to start over. Well, number two, timing is always important. Often, we look for relief in the valley instead of waiting for the clarity that comes from standing on the mountaintop. That's because it takes a lot of effort to get to the top of the mountain than to simply wallow around in the valley. When we're experiencing the darkness of the valley, it's tempting to make changes we hope will relieve our discomfort. But remember this, when you are on top of that proverbial mountain, that's the time to make decisions. And here's why. You see the situation more clearly from the mountaintop. You are moving towards something, not moving from something. You make decisions using positive information, not negative information. From the top of the mountain, you are more likely to move from peak to peak instead of from valley to valley. Well, on the other hand, if you keep floundering around while you're in that valley, you won't make it to higher ground where you can make wiser decisions, and you won't have developed character, which will serve you throughout your life. Do God's word. God bless you.